through here today as we await this matchup between the Cavaliers and the Seminoles. Timpson gets it out to Takayla Latson, who pushes the pace, running the floor, and couldn't get the roll.
Look for Florida State to try to push the tempo, as they always do. They're one of the highest scoring teams in all of the country, and they lead the ACC in ACC games at almost 80 points a game.
Number of transfers on this Virginia roster. A couple of freshmen in the starting five as well. McGee is one of them as she gets it out to Clarkson, the Florida State transfer in the lane. His shot attempt is off the mark. Back the other way comes Omaria Gordon. And Takayla Latson lines up a three from the wing. Too strong, though. And back come the Cavaliers. Paris Clark up ahead. Especially on the offensive end, and she just earned a trip to the free throw line.
Yeah, Snoop Turnage inserted into the starting lineup for Florida State just 4 games ago and really has made her impact felt, mostly on the defensive end and on the glass for Florida State. She's the second leading rebounder on this team, averages almost 6 rebounds a game, had a career high 10 rebounds in Florida State's game on Thursday at Syracuse.
And when you take a look at the plus minus in ACC play relative to when a player is on the floor, that's what that plus minus means. When Snoop Turnage is on the floor, Florida State in ACC play has been outscoring their opponents by 72 points.
That's a big number, no matter any way you look at it. And Snoop Turnage gets the first points for the Noles.
Mentioned the 10 rebounds for Turnage at Syracuse, a number that tied her career high. So off the career high in rebounds, her first here of this game leads to a free throw, and Florida State is finally on the board. There's an offensive rebound for Virginia, one of the top 10 rebounding teams in the entire country. And they get an offensive rebound and a reset here with Johnson, who made the three. Now she sets up her fellow freshman McGee, and that splashes through.
Olivia McGee, the freshman that prepped at IMG. The freshman from Florida State, Carla Villegas, with the three-point attempt, couldn't get it to fall. And the Hoos are connecting on all cylinders as Olivia McGee takes it right at the Seminoles.
Timeout, Florida State. Virginia told us before the game, we've got to get off to a fast start. They certainly have. We'll be right back.
Greatness is a feeling, a moment.
Play well designed by Florida State. Takayla Latson gets the lay-in to go, and the Noles have their first made field goal of this contest.
Nice look off the inbounds play. We saw Florida State run that at shoot-around this morning, executed well there.
And I mentioned Brooke Wyckoff in year 2 as the head coach here at Florida State. Also had an interim year during COVID when then head coach Sue Semrau stepped away, took a leave of absence, had 12 ACC wins last season. Did coach Wyckoff a year where the Noles exceeded all really the preseason expectations for them. And so this year with a lot more experience, including Timpson, who just got the lay-in to go, Florida State certainly a contender in this league as they try to continue the run, but London Clarkson in traffic, got it to go, and won.
Really nice interior passing there by Virginia. Paris Clark finding Clarkson, who then puts it on the floor one time to go to the opposite side with a strong finish, and the excitement from London Clarkson.
Senior from Pflugerville, Texas, connects on the and one opportunity. They called Carla Villegas for the foul, her first. 6 minutes left here in this opening quarter. UVA leads it by 8. Make it 5.
Maria Gordon, one of the best three-point shooters on this Florida State roster. Shoots at 41% from beyond the three-point line. Knocks a big one down there for the Noles.
Boy, just everything on the other side for Virginia is going. High bounce, high kiss off the glass, and McGee gets another bucket here in this first quarter.
Virginia is shooting at 60% from the floor so far in this game. McGee already with 5 points. She averages 7 on the season.
Florida State had made each of its last 3 before that 3-ball attempt. Virginia has made 4 of its last 5 from the floor as McGee brings it back across for the Cavaliers. That's picked off. Omaria Gordon back the other way, had it blocked, but that's a foul against Clark.
Take another look here, Paris Clark. Omari Gordon steps in the passing lane. Clark from behind, almost had the block, but got a piece of the arm of Omari Gordon. Just the first personal foul on Clark. 3rd team foul on Virginia.
And you mentioned Omari Gordon, the junior from Bradenton, Florida. Who's been running the point for Florida State. One of the better point guards in the ACC, and she, as you mentioned, has been a prolific scorer as well for the Noles. A player who's battled some injury issues the last couple of seasons, and Brooke Wyckoff has told us a few times already this season, you're seeing more of what she has always been capable of. She's done a really good job of taking care of her body to get herself built back to this point and having a tremendous season to show for it.
Yeah, Maria Gordon, 2nd in the ACC in assist-turnover ratio, 2.68 assist-turnover ratio. So distributing the basketball as well as scoring the basketball at a much higher rate than in past seasons.
She's taking care of the basketball too, and meanwhile, speaking of that, on the other side of things, that's another turnover, 2 in a row by the Cavaliers, and so a lead that has been as large as 10 for UVA is down to 5, and the Noles have a chance to trim even further into it as Tanaya Latson runs the floor. Timpson got a hand up and knocked it off of, I believe, Alexia Smith.
We've seen Latson be able to get to the rim, but so far hasn't connected as well as normal. Just 1 of 5 from the floor so far for Tanaya Latson.
Good look off the inbounds play once again, and you cannot lose track of Sarah Bigetti for a wide open corner 3.
Sarah Bigetti shooting it over 42% from the 3-point line in ACC play, currently leading the ACC in ACC games only.
What a tremendous interior pass to the 3rd freshman. Odessa Noyen will earn a trip to the free throw line.
Take another look at that 3-point confident stroke from Sarah Bigetti.
First free throw up and good for Noyen, the freshman from Sweden who played on the Swedish U18 national team. Seeing some meaningful minutes here early against the Noles, and a couple of good-looking free throws for the youngster.
Yeah, Noyen averages just 8 minutes a game, just under 2 points a game into the lineup early for Virginia.
Bigetti and the Noles swing it to the corner. Turnage had a thought for a second. Virginia recovered well, though. Latson dishing Timpson down low.
See the Seminoles with a little bit more emphasis trying to get the ball inside to KK Timpson and use her athleticism to their advantage.
Bonner got caught behind the screen for a second, but recovered well to chase McGee off the wing. But no problem at all for McGee, who's just creating her own shot.
It's a big-time shot from the freshman Olivia McGee.
Inside point blank, no good. Tie up.
We thought it was a tie-up, but the official's actually going to call a foul on Tanaya Latson inside. Take another look at that shot from the freshman Olivia McGee. Starting in just her 3rd game today. Scored 14 points in Virginia's loss to Notre Dame at home on Thursday. She has started off red hot today for the Hoos.
A second consecutive start. You mentioned this, just her third this season, and that 14-point showing against Notre Dame, equaling her season, and of course also her young career's high. Here comes Florida State running the floor with Bonner. Bonner inside, nifty move. Timpson cleans it up on the offensive glass. Florida State looking for a third chance opportunity, but Kymora Johnson comes away with the basketball.
Florida State getting some good looks from point blank range, but just can't finish.
Here comes Bonner once again. Alexis Tucker, who like Bonner, transferred in from the state of California, came in from UCSB and will earn a trip to the free throw line.
Alexis Tucker started the first 15 games for Florida State, having to play a little bit out of position, really more of a wing player, is having to play that 4 position for Florida State. Coming off the bench now to provide a spark for the Noles. Looking to continue to chip away at this Virginia lead. Tucker averaging about 6.5 points a game for the Noles. Shoots at 81% from the line. Look confident with that stroke there.
Noles back within a possession. Tucker trying to trim it even further down to 2. And does. 2018, Virginia with 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Florida State has survived the early onslaught and is very much on the comeback trail. Good looking move in the paint and a nice job on the offensive glass by the Cavaliers.
That's Camryn Taylor inside. Haven't called her name much. She's the leading scorer on this Virginia team.
Tucker off the shot fake, lined it up, didn't get the bounce.
Noles shooting just 5 of 17 from the floor for just under 30% so far here today. 0 of their last 4.
Too strong by Camryn Taylor, who you mentioned was working in the lane on the previous possession for the Cavaliers. Here's Omaria Gordon calling her own number and will earn a trip to the free throw line.
That foul going to be on Camryn Taylor. Gordon takes it right at her. Taylor just a little bit late getting over there and then makes the contact up top. More about Camryn Taylor, though. She has really been the leader for this Virginia team. Leads the team in rebounds at over 6 a game and nearly 15 points a game for the 5th-year senior from Peoria, transfer from Marquette a few years ago.
Again, Omaria Gordon drawing a foul off of her to earn this trip to the free throw line and got the roll there on the second free throw attempt. 8 of Florida State's 20 have come from the charity stripe here in the first quarter. Alexia Smith gets it to Nguyen. Virginia swings the basketball and looks to establish Clarkson inside, but it's knocked out of play. It remains UVA ball.
Sakaya White that knocked that one away. I think she jammed a finger on that one and she's shaking her hand off a little bit.
White, a player whose career began at the University of North Alabama, then went and played JUCO at Jones College. There's Clarkson cleaning up her own miss. And Florida State conceding another offensive rebound to Virginia. They've had a handful here and connected on a number of second chance points.
It's already 8 second chance points for Virginia off of 4 offensive rebounds.
Clark inside, knocked away, and last touched by the freshman Nguyen. Florida State basketball.
By Alexis Tucker there, as she, I believe, got a hand on it as well, but I think it was last touched by Nguyen.
1.5 minutes left here in quarter number 1. Virginia with the 4-point lead over Florida State. Bajetti high off the glass.
A bit of contact there, but not enough to warrant the foul called. And Virginia there to clean up the defensive glass again.
Smith with the kick. Brown with the dribble drive into the paint for Virginia. Now 10 left for the Cavaliers. Clark looking for a screen from the freshman, got caught behind her. Nice job of hedging by Omaria Gordon. Brown lost the handle, out of play. Strong defense there by the Noles.
That was really good switching defense up top. You saw Gordon and Bajetti just switching on the screen. Stayed in front of Clark, kept her out of the paint, forced the turnover by Virginia. Florida State, though, no field goals in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 2 of their last 10 from the floor.
Villegas, too strong. SK White got it off the offensive glass and sticks it up and through.
SK White finishing between 2 Cavalier defenders. Cuts the lead back to just 2.
It was all Virginia early on in this one. Florida State's trimmed the lead down, and right on cue, Jillian Brown with a 3.
Jillian Brown, just her 3rd made 3-point field goal of the season. Comes at a great time for the Virginia Cavaliers.
Florida State has 12 seconds left here in quarter number 1. Now inside 10. Gordon looking for a screen, instead swings it to Bajetti. Lines it up too strong, brought down by Nguyen, and that is how quarter number 1 will come to a close.
Strong first quarter for the Virginia Cavaliers. They said they wanted to
14 per game, shooting 48% from the floor, nearly 40% from the perimeter. We've talked about the assist to turnover ratio, 2nd best in the ACC, so she's done a tremendous body of work to this point, and she has kept Florida State within reasonable touch as we get quarter number 2 underway. Sean Davison alongside Melissa Bruner, our entire ACC Network extra crew on hand. And if you are just tuning in, that has been the story for Florida State. They've gotten some good looks, point-blank range, and lay-ins and little shots from right in front of the rim just have not gone for KK Timpson and company. Smith cutting to the basket, dishes it into the paint. There's a block by the Noles. Timpson asserting herself down low.
KK Timpson, the league leader in blocks as well, gets a big one there on London Clarkson.
Turnage driving off the kick, high off the glass, missing everything. And back the other way comes Johnson. Johnson pull up.
It's the freshman leading the way for Virginia. Kymora Johnson now perfect from the floor, 7 points in 9 minutes of action.
Virginia led this game 11-1 early in the first quarter. The 10-point lead, their largest. It's back up to 7, and Amaria Gordon short on the 3-ball attempt, trying to trim it down to 4. Here's Johnson running the floor. Virginia outscoring Florida State on the break, and there's a traveling violation by Jillian Brown.
Jillian Brown trying to get the ball inside, and then I think a Seminole defender stepped in the way. Take a look there at the block, though, from KK Timpson. Florida State trying to get out and run. They haven't been able to finish at the rim.
Timpson, preseason All-ACC, 9 double-doubles, has 22 in her career, and leads the ACC, as you've mentioned, Melissa, in both field goal percentage and in terms of blocks per game. Those double-doubles, the 22 in the career, T6th all-time in FSU program history.
KK Timpson wears 21 in honor of her head coach, Brooke Wyckoff. Certainly making her coach proud here today. Big time shot there over Sam Brunel. Oh, excuse me, over Taylor Lauterbach, who just checked into the game.
Lauterbach, another player that hasn't played a whole lot for Virginia, but getting her number called early on here on the road against the 15th ranked team in the country. Lead down to 4 for the Cavaliers. They led by 5 after the first quarter. Johnson off the shot fake, runner in the lane, gets the high kiss and through. Everything seemingly dropping for Virginia early on here in Tallahassee.
Hot shooting continues for the Cavaliers, over 52% from the floor for Virginia so far in the game.
Cavaliers brought the double on Sarah Bajetti. Latson now swinging it out to Snoop Turnage. She got bumped on her way into the paint.
It's Olivia McGee, I believe, that's going to get whistled for that foul. The arm bar on Snoop Turnage. This is a Virginia team that was plagued by fouls in their last game. They sent Notre Dame to the free throw line 44 times in that game. So far, the Noles have been to the line 10 times.
Florida State as a team making 8 of those 10 free throws, and Timpson's really starting to heat up now for the Noles.
Timpson going to work inside. 9 points for her, 4 of 7 from the floor. She's got 4 rebounds already in just 9 minutes of action.
Clark inside. Brown had it stolen away by Tenaya Latson. And here's Florida State with a chance to run. Latson, the kick to Gordon, the swing to Bajetti. Dribble drive off the wing, and she'll earn a trip to the free throw line.
All right, Gordon a little bit too unselfish in my opinion on that one. She was open in the corner, and again, she's one of the better three-point shooters on this team. Latson finds her in the corner, had time, but makes the pass to Bajetti to try to get some points in the paint.
And so here's the senior from Helsinki, Finland, whose D1 career began at Arizona State and has played the last several seasons here in Tallahassee. Rock solid at the free throw line for Bajetti, and the lead is down to 3.
Foul going to be called there, over the back call on Camryn Taylor, and I believe that's her second personal foul. And that's big for Virginia. Again, that's the leading scorer, leading rebounder on this Cavalier team. Picking up her second. She's going to have to go to the bench. London Clarkson going to check back in.
Well, and you mentioned too, Melissa, that this was a Virginia team that got into foul trouble as a team against Notre Dame. Taylor got into foul trouble against Notre Dame. So this is the second straight game where she's gotten into some issues.
Both Taylor and London Clarkson fouled out of the game on Thursday night.
Timpson fouled on the way up. That'll go against Sam Brunel.
You can see Florida State wanting to continue to pound the ball inside to Timpson and try to get those points in the paint, passing up the opportunities from 3 to try to get easier looks in the paint. Timpson there uses every bit of the rim, and it bounces out unkind here. No home court bounce for the home team.
61% on the season for Timpson, 1 of 3. Now make it 2 of 4 from the free throw line here over the first quarter and several minutes of the second.
Yeah, 14 attempts, though, already for Florida State from the free throw line.
Jillian Brown nearly lost the handle. Latson was right there to knock it away. Sarah Bajetti got a hand in there on Johnson, but she'll be called for the reach.
Bajetti, one of the most aggressive defenders in the entire ACC, often has to guard the opposing team's best player. Spent the entire night at Syracuse having to try to figure out a way to defend Deasia Fair.
There's a lot of folks trying to figure out how to defend Deasia Fair.
Agreed. One of the most dynamic scorers in the ACC at Syracuse.
Inside 10, meanwhile, here for Virginia. Johnson over everybody, got it to go. Florida State worked him deep into the shot clock, and if you're the Noles, that's a shot that you're okay with Virginia settling for, but that's a heck of a shot at that.
That is a great shot from Johnson. 11 points now for her to lead all scorers.
Into the middle of the defense, and a nice pass by Tenaya Latson down to Timpson for an and 1 opportunity.
Feed the beast inside. KK Timpson going to work again. Tenaya Latson over the top of that zone. Nobody can get there quick enough in a blue jersey, and Timpson scores. That foul gonna go on Brown. That's her second. Timpson back to the free throw line. Timpson already 12 points. Just 11 minutes so far here in this game.
I think too, Melissa, a lot of folks, when you think about beating the zone, think about perimeter shooting. You can do it also if you can get somebody working in the middle of the zone like Tenaya Latson just did.
Yeah, and that's exactly what this Florida State team is trying to do. They're sending a player right in the middle there at the free throw line at the ACC. Latson knew exactly where she wanted to go with it when she got it in there.
Nice interior passing once again by Virginia, and Clarkson lays it in right around Turnage and Timpson.
Timpson had to come over and help side a little bit. Couldn't recover back quickly enough to London Clarkson.
Three-ball attempt by Turnage. Misses to the left. Still a one-score game, still a Virginia lead. They've led from the drop. Turnage got a hand in there and knocked it out of play. It remains with the Cavaliers. UVA making 4 of their last 5 shots, shooting 54% from the floor, 60% from the perimeter. Here's Sam Brunell off the inbounds, the transfer from Notre Dame. Looking for space, turning around Turnage, and there's Snoop skying for the rebound.
Yeah, those long arms of Snoop Turnage come in handy there for Florida State.
Oh, good look. A kick from Latson, and that is straight money for Snoop.
Those are two high school teammates finding each other. Snoop Turnage knew exactly what to do with it. With the assist from Tanaya Latson. 4 assists already in this game for Latson as we are tied up here at the tuck.
Florida State has made 4 of their last 5. And Snoop Turnage, razor sharp from the top of the key to knot it up at 35.
And in the paint for Florida State, scoring in a variety of ways. The Noles have found her inside to the tune of 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting. 3 of 5 from the free throw line as well. KK Timpson will get a well-deserved break here.
5 of 8 from the floor, 4 rebounds. She's made each of her last 3 shots. And you mentioned those 13 points for Timpson to this point. Bonner chasing Johnson off the perimeter. SK White got a hand in there, knocked the ball away. That'll be a tie-up, and it'll go to the Noles.
Another solid defensive possession for Florida State. They've turned up that defensive intensity just a little bit, made it a little more difficult for this Virginia team to find scoring options. Florida State has outscored Virginia here in the quarter 13-8 to tie this game up at 35 apiece.
Third turnover in the quarter by UVA.
Florida State moving the ball well against this zone. Looking to go inside out.
Back inside Bonner, looking for space, missed it, but SK White is there to corral it and stick it back up. And Florida State has their first lead here this afternoon.
SK White, one of the best rebounders in all of junior college last season at Jones College, with a big one there for the Noles.
Good look, inside out. Johnson short though, but there on the offensive glass, getting her own miss is Johnson. Second effort, no good. And there's White, who you mentioned, the big rebounder from Jones College, bringing down one for the Noles here. Latson nearly lost the dribble, somehow kept her footing and put that up over 2 defenders, high off the glass, and good.
Tanaya Latson through the contact, high off the glass to finish. Just 4 points for her, but 4 assists to lead Florida State here.
7-0 run for the Noles over the last minute and a half. They've made 6 of their last 8. Virginia, meanwhile, without a point in the last couple of minutes. Another offensive rebound by the Cavaliers, stolen away by Snoop Turnage. Here come the Noles, looking to run the floor. SK White inside point-blank range, rolls across the rim but doesn't drop.
Nice move by Brianna Turnage to get that ball across half court and into SK White. Let's take another look at Tanaya Latson. The off-balance finish through some contact as well from Caden Lawson.
All part of the artistry that is Tanaya Latson here in Tallahassee. And the Noles, who, as I mentioned a minute ago, took their first lead 37-35, have stretched it out even further now to 4 as we approach the final several minutes here of the half. Into the middle of the zone. Gordon gets it back outside. Villegas, though, got it blocked.
That's Lawson there, coming over and help side to swat that one away from Villegas.
Virginia looking for an answer. The scoring drought now over 3 minutes for the Cavaliers. Nguyen, that's an offensive foul.
Nguyen there just trying to protect the ball, but put her off arm right into the chest of Sarah Bajetti, the freshman against the senior. Look at that big block there, though, from Caden Lawson, the senior.
Third turnover now in the last 3 minutes for Virginia. They bring the double on Omaria Gordon, who gets it into the corner to Carla Villegas, and it's knocked away by the Cavaliers. 14 on the clock for the Noles.
Just smart play by the freshman there in the corner, though, was getting trapped and wisely just threw it off of the leg of one of the Cavalier defenders to try to maintain possession for the Noles.
Florida State gets it in to S.K. White, who goes back outside. Villegas short on the 3-ball attempt, and Smith brings down the defensive rebound for Virginia.
Lexia Smith at just 5'8", going high there on the defensive glass.
Virginia trails by 4 to Florida State. Clark off the screen.
Clark ends the 7-0 scoring run by the Noles.
Turnage looking for 3 more. That's short. And Virginia doing a really nice job on both sides on the glass. That's been a problem, though. A 4th turnover in the last several minutes, and Omaria Gordon makes them pay in transition.
Florida State now 17 points off of the 11 Virginia turnovers, led by Omaria Gordon, finishing off there with the left hand.
Another offensive foul.
That's Sarah Bajetti drawing another offensive foul on Paris Clark. There you see Omaria Gordon taking it the length of the floor and finishing left hand, left side. Omaria Gordon explosive with the ball in her hands.
9 points for OMG, 2 of 4 from the floor. Has earned a handful of trips to the free throw line as well for the Noles, who lead by 4. 12th turnover by Virginia in the half. This is a Florida State team that on average has forced about 15 a game. Timpson down low. Kept the ball, put it up, and got it to go.
Looked like Timpson was gonna turn it over. There were a couple of blue jerseys trying to swat that one away, and Timpson just goes up strong. Finishes in front of the rim.
Virginia needs a basket, and they need it badly. Smith looking for room. Gets it out to Johnson on the wing. Dribble penetration, good looking stroke by Johnson. Boy, what a talent she is going to be in this league. Speaking of talent, here's Latson.
That would have been a huge bucket for Florida State if Latson could have finished that. Back to the freshman, Kymora Johnson, 13 points, 6 of 8 shooting for the outstanding freshman for the Cavaliers.
Less than a second separating the shot and the game clock here. Johnson inside 10. Johnson guarded by Bajetti and traveled. Wow, Sarah Bajetti on the defensive end has been tremendous here in the second quarter.
She has been a difference maker for sure on the defensive end, making it very difficult for anybody to get into the paint or get by her. She's drawn a couple of charges and there forces the turnover.
Gordon, logo 3, no.
That nearly went down for Omaria Gordon.
And for Florida State, who's 12 ACC Network Extra crew. London Clarkson, the transfer from Florida State, sends it in off the inbounds, then off the rolling action along the baseline, gets the lay-in to go.
Good start for Virginia off the inbounds play. Got the mismatch with Clarkson being guarded by Omaria Gordon.
Speaking of Gordon, she drives baseline, dishing it now to Timpson in traffic. Too strong for the Noles. Back the other way, spinning in the paint, getting back her own miss and finishing is Camryn Taylor. And we are tied at 43. Taylor, a couple of early fouls, played sparingly in that first half.
Yeah, not sure exactly what the message was from Coach Mox at halftime, but her team has come out inspired here to start the third quarter, much like they did in the first quarter.
Johnson, 3 more. What a start to quarter number 3 for Virginia. Gordon, guarded by Clarkson, back out top to Latson. Dribble drive into the paint, count it, and one.
Take a look here at the defensive intensity. Clarkson stepping in the passing lane, and then Kymora Johnson just bringing it down. Finding players inside. The freshman Johnson, 16 points on 7 of 9 shooting.
And to Florida State's credit, a handful of those 7 have been hard-earned in traffic over people. The Noles, by all accounts, have done a good job of guarding her, but she has just scored over them.
Now the defensive stopper for Florida State, Sarah Bajetti, going to draw that defensive assignment.
Johnson looking to establish her fellow freshman Nguyen inside, and the freshman from Sweden lost the handle out of play.
Tanaya Latson may have had something to do with that as well. She stepped into that passing lane and I think got a hand on the ball and knocked it away from Nguyen.
Tied up at 46. Not anymore. Tanaya Latson with her first 3 here of the game, and Florida State's on a 6-0 run to lead by 3.
6-0 run all at the hands of Tanaya Latson.
McGee, meanwhile, short from the mid-range. Bajetti pulls it back out, steps into it, and knocks it down. The lethality of Florida State's backcourt fire early on, but the Noles have duly responded.
Tanaya Latson took things into her own hands, made a little 6-0 run, and then Sarah Bajetti fakes the defense out, makes them think she's going all the way to the rim, just pulls it out, drains a big 3. It's a 9-0 run for Florida State over the last minute, forcing Coach Mox to call a timeout.
Noles led by 4 at the half. They've extended the lead. Virginia with the first 7 points of quarter number 3. The Noles responding with the last 9. There's Latson in the passing lanes, coming away with a steal. Gordon, down low, Timpson. Triple team, stripped of the basketball on the way up on second effort, and here come the Cavaliers.
Couple of good looks there in the paint for Florida State. Credit Virginia's defense for making it difficult. And then another turnover by the Hoos. Couple of freshmen, sophomore, it was Clark that was trying to get it to the freshman Olivia McGee.
16th turnover in this game by Virginia, and a Florida State team that averages roughly about 15 per game this season, or 15 forced per game this season. And there's Virginia once again clogging the lane and causing problems down low.
That's Camryn Taylor in there with the block on KK Timpson to strip it away.
6-point lead for Florida State. Here's the freshman McGee. Clark inside to Nguyen, and the freshman Nguyen will go to the free throw line.
Gonna give that one to KK Timpson. Nguyen posted up there on Alexis Tucker. Could have gone on either Tucker or Timpson. Both of them, I think, made some contact with the freshman Nguyen. Will go to the free throw line. Just a 50% free throw shooter on the season. Is the freshman.
Today, though, now 3 for 3, Nguyen.
A small sample size for Nguyen. She's only attempted 4 all season. Made 2 of those.
Good looking free throw there by the youngster. So good on all 4 today after, as you mentioned, only having 4 attempted coming into today. So important minutes for Nguyen, who along with Johnson and McGee, one heck of a freshman class for the Cavaliers. Johnson, the 2-time Virginia Gatorade Player of the Year. McGee, a top 50 recruit. Nguyen on the U18 Swedish junior national team.
That is a bright future for the Virginia Cavaliers with those 3 in the lineup playing significant minutes here today.
Latson calls her own number, and wow, Tanaya Latson scored 4 points in the first half, and she has scored 8 more in the first 4 minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah, you can tell there's a different energy about Tanaya Latson here to start the third quarter. She is trying to take over this ball game.
Johnson had some space on the wing, didn't get the three to go, and here comes Latson back the other way. Kick to Tucker. Dribble penetration, good looking stroke for Alexis Tucker from the free throw line.
Alexis Tucker hasn't been as accurate from the three-point line as of late, but that mid-range game has been on point. Knocks down a big bucket there for Florida State.
Lead is up to 8 for the Noles. It's their largest of the game, and there's a steal. Tucker inside. Back the other way in transition. Omaria Gordon short. Johnson looking to run. Guarded by Bajetti. Count it. And one.
The officials are going to talk that over. I think Ed Sidlaski pointed like it was on the floor before the shot attempt.
Wow.
They are not going to give her the bucket. They will give her Sarah Bajetti the personal foul. Virginia will inbound underneath. Not sure if that was continuation or not.
So in it goes to Johnson, and there you go. Nice move by Johnson, rolling all the way to the basket and getting the roll as well.
Johnson taking over this game as well for Virginia.
Tucker's going to step into a three. Lead back down to 6. Johnson pulls it out. And that's a good-looking three for Camryn Taylor, a 3-level scorer who leads Virginia in scoring this season. And we've got a one-possession game. Virginia wanted a travel call on Omaria Gordon in the paint. And there's Alexis Tucker coming back and knocking down another mid-range jumper.
Yeah, it's that dangerous mid-range game. So good on that one dribble, pull-up, jump shot. Alexis Tucker.
Offensive foul as Virginia was looking to establish Taylor. Florida State leads by 5.
And inserted herself into this Florida State offense.
Also 4 assists for Latson, who's forced a couple of turnovers, 1 steal to her credit. Speaking of turnovers, looks like Virginia came away with a block. Here's Johnson calling her own number. Nifty footwork by Johnson.
20 points already for the freshman, Kymora Johnson.
Tucker short on the 3-ball attempt. Virginia will let that carry him out of play. One possession game once again here in the third quarter. Florida State started it off with a 4-point lead. Virginia scored the first 7 points of the quarter, and then Florida State responded with the next 9. And it's been back and forth ever since. The Noles have established the lead and extended it. And now here's Virginia battling right back. Johnson's been the hot hand all game long. Smith up top, spinning in the paint. Past the ACC logo, tried to tip back her own miss. And on third effort, it still doesn't go. And here's Omaria Gordon tracking it down in the corner.
The littlest player on the floor comes away with it. Tries to put up a floater.
Dishing it out to Bonner. That is short. Every rebound has been hard-earned in this game.
Florida State shooting now just 2 of 7 from beyond the 3-point line here in the quarter. 5 of 24 from the 3-point line for the game.
Johnson fouled on the way in. Count it, and 1.
Florida State has not had an answer for the freshman, Kymora Jordan. Johnson there just blows by the Seminole defense. Johnson, 22 points already, 10 of 13 from the floor.
Missed the free throw, and Florida State hangs on to a 1-point lead for the moment. Latson, elbow, count it. (60-57) in favor of the Noles. Johnson from the wing, 3 more for Johnson.
Unbelievable shot from the freshman Kymora Johnson.
Latson doubled and draws the foul off Noyen.
Take another look here. Sarah Bajetti just trying to get around that screen, and Kymora Johnson making them pay.
Turnage gets it into Tania Latson. Latson once again doubled, gets it to Bonner, point blank, missed it. Got back her own miss. Latson now, nifty footwork, knifing her way into the paint and getting it to go.
We are seeing two dynamic guards here this afternoon. Johnson and Latson going toe-to-toe.
62-60 Florida State. Clarkson, good look, but missed it. Too strong on the lay-in attempt. 2 minutes left here in quarter number 3. Latson pulls it back out, and Florida State will reset. Treadwell sets the screen. Back up top it goes to Turnage. Inside to the youngster Treadwell, who's doubled, and it's knocked away. And a foul will be called on the floor. It'll go, I believe, against Treadwell.
Latson trying to give Treadwell a touch inside to use her size, with too many hands there from Virginia. Swat that one away and force a turnover. Just the second of the game for Florida State. KK Timpson gonna jump off the Florida State bench and come right back into the Seminole lineup.
Timpson with 15 points, 4 rebounds, and a block to this point in the game. Mid-range, what a good-looking stroke by Camryn Taylor. Coach Mock's calling her a problem to guard. I guess so.
Yeah, 56% from the floor for Virginia in this quarter. 23 points for the Hoos.
Hot pass. Timpson couldn't corral it. Latson just goes over the back with it. Timpson somehow comes up with it and will earn a trip to the free throw line.
Some extra effort plays there inside from Tania Latson and KK Timpson. Not exactly how the Seminole offense is drawn up, but Timpson will go back to the free throw line. 3 of 5 here on the afternoon for Timpson.
First one off the mark for KK as Brooke Wyckoff looks on. Got the second one, and Florida State leads once again. Boy, what a game this has been. Virginia started off hot. Florida State reeled them in and took the lead at the half. And it's been a third quarter full of runs. Florida State hanging on to a 1-point lead. Well-designed play here. Brown and the Cavaliers jump back in front.
Big time shot from Jillian Brown. Again, coming into the game, it only connected on 2 threes all season. Has hit 2 here today.
Corner 3, Bajetti, too strong. Good look, though, and that is, again, you cannot afford to leave her open. Virginia got away with one. Clarkson fighting for the ball. And last touched by Florida State.
I think Gordon had the ball, but it was either bounced or she stepped on the end line, so Virginia will get another possession.
McGee off the inbounds, nearly lost her footing and traveled. Her fellow freshman Johnson on the logo, guarded by Omaria Gordon. Brown around Latson and out with Bajetti. Here comes Sarah Bajetti running the floor and laying it in transition. We are tied at 65. Career high here this afternoon. Tie game here at the Tuck as we start quarter number 4. Carla Villegas open for a 3 and couldn't get it to drop.
Florida State really struggling from beyond the three-point line. Just 5 of 25 on the afternoon. Sarah Bajetti going to get whistled for that foul. She's been tasked with the assignment of trying to slow down Kymora Johnson. foul on Bajetti, her third, so that's something to watch for Florida State.
Brown, dribble penetration off the wing, doubled up by Villegas and Turnage. Now back up to Johnson on the logo, inside 5, Johnson looking for room, guarded by Bajetti. Travel at the top of the key though by Clarkson.
If I'm Kymora Johnson, I'm not sure I'm going to give that ball up. I feel like she's got to keep the ball in her hands and try to maybe go finish through some contact at the rim or go to that mid-range game.
Now here comes Florida State. Sarah Bajetti knifing into the paint. Timpson on the weak side, puts it up, and will earn a trip to the free throw line.
Okay, Timpson there doing some damage on the glass. 6 rebounds for her to go along with her 16 points. She's going to go back to the free throw line. She's just 4 of 7 from the line here today. On the season, Timpson a 61% free throw shooter.
And I'll say this too, Melissa. Virginia, again, one of the best rebounding teams in the country. They have out-rebounded Florida State. But on the offensive glass, Florida State out-rebounding Virginia there 9-8.
Yeah, Florida State doing a pretty good job on the offensive glass, getting second chance opportunities. AK Timpson just connecting on 1 of 2 there from the line. Florida State has gotten to the line 20 times, though. That's a good statistic for head coach Brooke Wyckoff.
Clarkson nearly lost the handle off the entry pass by Johnson. 1-point lead for Florida State with roughly 9 minutes left. Johnson high off the glass, and there is a new season and career high for Kymora Johnson, 27, and Virginia has the lead. Nice pass by Latson, and Timpson couldn't pay it off.
Timpson's got to finish that one for Florida State. What a great pass by Tanaya Latson to find her after she draws all of that attention defensively.
1-point lead for the Cavaliers. Johnson gets it down low to Clarkson. Brown swinging it back to Johnson. Inside out, now back inside. Nguyen from the free throw line, got it!
Nguyen playing with confidence today. That's her first made field goal after knocking down 4 free throws earlier in the game.
6 points in the game for Nguyen, and that is more like it for KK Timpson, who lays it in and trims the lead to 1.
Another assist from Tanaya Latson, her 5th of the game.
Clarkson down low to Nguyen, and Nguyen has equaled her season and career high of 8 points in this game.
Brooke Wyckoff going to call a timeout there. Didn't like what she saw on the defensive end. Wants to talk some things over with her Seminole squad.
In Tallahassee, where Virginia leads it by 3 on the road at the Tucker Center, and Kymora Johnson, courtesy of this shot, Melissa, has a new career high.
Yeah, Kymora Johnson has been unbelievable here today for the Virginia Cavaliers. 27 points, 12 of 16. Look at that, 50% from the three-point line. Can't get much better than that.
And we'll see how those numbers continue to grow, if they do, with still 7.5 left. There's Alexis Tucker breaking it down off the bounce.
It's a good, strong take from Alexis Tucker off the bench for Florida State. She was a big factor in the 4th quarter against Florida State, in Florida State's win over Tennessee earlier this season. Maybe she can have that kind of impact here today for the Noles.
Lead down to 1 for the Cavaliers. Johnson swinging it to her fellow freshman McGee. Inside Brown, got it!
Florida State had switched to a little bit of a 2-3 zone, and Brown found a little angle inside and able to convert.
Lead back to 3. Gordon left all alone, point blank with the left hand. Couldn't get it.
We've seen that today. Florida State has gotten some good looks in the paint. Uncharacteristically missed a few of those easy ones.
Virginia's got their leading scorer, Camryn Taylor, set to check in, and there's McGee laying it in.
The freshman coming to life here. McGee.
Nice pass by Latson to Timpson. She lays it in. It's a 1-score game.
talked earlier with Brooke Wyckoff about the growth and development of Tanaya Latson, and that's something that we've seen from her as of late, the ability to find open teammates as she did there with KK Timpson.
Set a new career high in each of the last 2 games played. Had 8 against Virginia Tech, then turned around and had 9 assists against Syracuse. McGee short on the 3-ball attempt. Foul called on the floor. That'll go against Sarah Bajetti, though.
Now, Florida State did a good job there of defending the initial one, but take a look here. Tanaya Latson threading the ball through 2 defenders to find KK Timpson.
And for Florida State, you're going to have to play this last 6 minutes of regulation and have Sarah Bajetti, your most tenacious defender, on the floor and manage 4 fouls.
Foul trouble on both sides as Virginia's Camryn Taylor checks back in with 4 fouls as well.
Johnson gets it to Brown. Inside 5, Brown nearly lost the handle, kept it, and banks it in.
What a shot from Jillian Brown. 10 points for her. The transfer from Northwestern being a difference maker here late.
4 of 5 from the floor for Brown. Gordon pops it to KK Timpson. Timpson spins and is short. 5 minutes left to play. Virginia leads it by 5. They're 0 for 6 in conference play, and the majority of their initial games have been against top 25 teams. Tucker knocks it out of play. It remains with the Cavaliers with 13 on the shot clock.
Virginia trying to take advantage of the size advantage inside. Alexis Tucker, again, a little bit smaller as a guard.
Taylor got back her own miss and lays it in.
Offensive rebounding, a key for Virginia. It's Camryn Taylor with the stick back. And that's going to be the 5th foul on Taylor, I believe, away from the ball. And that is huge for Virginia. Take another look here. Taylor just blocking the cut of Sarah Bajetti. Not a lot there. It's a bad break for Taylor and the Cavaliers.
11 points for Taylor in this one before fouling out. Tucker gets it into Amaria Gordon. Noles trail by 7. Virginia has led by as many as 10, but that was early in this game, and that's knocked away and turned over.
Too many hands in the passing lane there. Amaria Gordon trying to thread the needle, but good defense by Virginia. Just the 3rd turnover of the game for Florida State, but comes at a bad time for the Noles.
Johnson brings it up. Clarkson gets it to Brown. Bajetti got stuck behind Clarkson, recovers, and the 3-ball attempt. I think Bajetti got a hand on that. Here comes Tanaya Latson. Behind the back dribble, kicking to the corner. Gordon fouled on the 3-ball attempt. She'll go to the free throw line.
London Clarkson closing out over in the corner. Gordon couldn't knock it down, but she'll have a chance to knock down 3 free throws. Again, Tanaya Latson, nifty move behind the back, finds her backcourt mate in the corner. Noles have shot 20 free throws already in this game, knocked down 15 of them, none bigger than these 3 from Amaria Gordon.
First one bounces off to the right. Second one good. Virginia, worth noting, against top 25 teams in their last 50 matchups, they're 2 and 48.
They've got Florida State on the ropes here. Can they finish in the last 4 minutes?
Johnson to McGee. Good look, and got them all!
Olivia McGee, their second 3-point field goal of the afternoon. 12 points now for the freshman.
And for Johnson and all she's done offensively, it could be that 6th assist. That's the biggest contribution she's had today. Timpson fouled in the paint.
Take another look. Nice pass out. Nobody there to close out on McGee. Shoots at 33% on the season from beyond the three-point line. Knocks down a big one there to give the Cavaliers their largest lead of the game.
Omaria Gordon, that's a long 2 for Florida State. They're back within 6. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left in regulation here in Tallahassee. McGee off the wing, doubled and bumped by Tenaya Latson.
Was that a shooting foul, or will that be on the baseline? Looks like they will not say she was in the act of shooting. So it'll just be an inbound pass for Virginia. It's going to come down to the defensive end here for Florida State. Sean, can they get a stop and slow down these two freshmen?
Speaking of them, here's Johnson, and she gets the roll. It has been that kind of day for Kymora Johnson, who now has 29. Gordon working deep, knocking down the mid-range, and Omaria Gordon says, let me reintroduce myself.
Gordon trying to put this team on her back now. But again, that's going to come down to a defensive stop. Noles need to find an answer for Kymora Johnson.
Johnson already with the most points scored by any Cavalier this season at 29. Working the baseline once again. There's Brown, mid-range. Nearly banked it in, got back her own miss though. Here's McGee. Third effort, and Brown corrals it once more.
Virginia making all the hustle plays right now against the 15th ranked Seminoles.
And we get inside 2 minutes here at the Tucker Center left in regulation. Clarkson rolling to the basket and fouled by Omaria Gordon.
Yeah, Florida State had no option there. They double-teamed Kymora Johnson to try to get the ball out of her hands. Good find, and Gordon just comes over late, but makes sure that Clarkson has to get to the free throw line to get 2 points. It's a smart play by the junior, Gordon. Clarkson on the season, 74% from the free throw line.
And for Virginia, it's a team that takes pride in the culture that they have built under Coach Mox. Some of the pillars: loyalty, respect, selflessness, camaraderie, synergy, being genuine, being giving and grinding. Their hashtag GNSL, grind now, shine later. They have embodied that here today, and they certainly are shining inside the final 2 minutes at the Tuck. Here's Tenaya Latson. She draws the foul.
You have to assume that Florida State going to put the ball in the hands of Tenaya Latson to be the playmaker. And that foul is going to go on the freshman Moyen. That will be her 5th personal foul. Lawson going to check in for Noyen. So now Taylor out with 5 fouls, Noyen out with 5 fouls, London Clarkson with 4 personal fouls. Florida State, Bajetti with those 4 personals, Timpson with 3.
2 good free throws for Tenaya Latson. And a 30-second timeout on the floor. The Noles trail by
her team on the defensive end. They need to stop.
McGee out to the wing, and Lawson. Johnson corrals it in front of the scorer's table. Acrobatic move, doesn't get the bounce, and that'll be a foul against the Cavaliers.
Wow, that's a big break for Florida State, as the Cavaliers had come up with the offensive rebound, but they knocked Amaya down in the process. KK Timpson came over, and you can see that that's Lawson that just hip checked Amaya Bonner. That's a good call, good piece of officiating.
And worth noting, too, that foul put Florida State in the bonus, so free throws now for Bonner, who misses the first. Florida State had the chance with 2 makes to make it a 1-possession game, Best they can do now is trim it to 4. That one touched every part of the rim. Brooke Wyckoff imploring her team not to foul. Noles bring the double, and that could be a turnover right there.
Florida State with the full court pressure, making things difficult on Virginia.
And I believe Coach Mox called a timeout, seeing that trouble coming.
30-second timeout.
And that bails out the Cavaliers, who cling on to that 4-point lead. Well, this
has been a good one here.
Yeah, I was going to say, this has been a game that, you know, I think a lot of folks who casually watch sport would look at Virginia with a sub-500 record and think, oh, no chance. This is a Virginia team that has battled everybody, and it's a Florida State team that, for their part, has scored the same way they've scored all season. And so it's been a darn good matchup. We've seen tremendous guard play in this one as well.
Again, this is a Virginia team that has nothing to lose. You know, they have no pressure on them. They are just coming in and playing hard and giving their very best effort. Florida State with the pressure on them right now with that ranking, expected to defend their home floor.
Brown gets it into Clarkson. Can the Noles get a stop, or can Virginia salt this one away? It's McGee, the freshman on the wing, guarded by Latson as we head inside the final minute of action. Johnson on the logo. Johnson driving, and a foul called on the floor. If this is on Bajetti, that's her 5th.
That is 5 on Bajetti. She ran into the screen of London Clarkson. Brooke Wyckoff asking for an explanation. She didn't think the screen was legal. I think Clarkson might have been set. So Bajetti gonna check out of the game. 10 points and those 5 personal fouls. Snoop Turnage gonna come in for the Noles. Let's take another look here. Clarkson looks like she's pretty well set there.
And now 2 massive free throws for her. First one short. Clarkson 2 of 3 previous to that miss. Now 2 of 4.
Both teams are in the bonus, and both teams do have 1 timeout remaining.
That's missed and knocked away. Brown nearly secured it, but Omaria Gordon comes away with it. Here comes Florida State. Gordon knocked it, or had it knocked away by the Cavaliers. She was looking for Timpson.
She was looking hard at KK Timpson, thought she had the passing angle. Virginia read that one well.
22 on the shot clock for the Noles. Turnage gets it into Tania Latson in the corner. Latson contacted, doesn't get the and one, but will shoot a couple of free throws. A chance for Florida State to make it a 1-possession game here at the free throw line.
Tania Latson right into the middle of the defense. Brown there, making sure that Latson can't finish that shot.
First one good. And will the Noles trail by 3 or by 2? We'll see. Right here. Big time free throw by Tania Latson. And once again has scored 20 points this season. Timeout Virginia. They'll talk things over. We'll take the timeout with them here at the top.
But you have to think Virginia's going to put it in the hands of their star today, Kymora Johnson. Looks like Amaya Bonner of Florida State going to draw the assignment on Johnson.
Johnson, the freshman, scoring 29 in this one to this point. Lawson gets it into her, and you mentioned Bonner guarding her. Johnson turns the corner, floats it up, high off the glass, and good. Timeout, Florida State.
What a play from a fantastic freshman. Kymora Johnson has had the answer every time the Noles have tried to cut into this lead. 31 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, the complete game from Kymora Johnson.
There's a lot of tremendous freshmen in the ACC, but when you put this together with the fact that she scored 16 against Notre Dame, Kymora Johnson could very well be the ACC Freshman of the Week next week.
Yeah, Hannah Hidalgo has had a run with the ACC Freshman of the Week honors, and rightly so, but this freshman here has been sensational today, leading her Virginia Cavalier team.
And certainly, the accolades are nice. The win matters more for Virginia, who's come so close so often this year and just hasn't quite gotten over the hump against a top 25 team. Could this be the day for Coach Mox and the Cavs, or can Florida State find a way here late? Wolves have advanced the basketball. It'll be Tanaya Latson to send it in here in the half-court set for FSU. 24.9 left in regulation, and it gets in to Amaria Gordon. Latson driving, left all alone, lays it in, no problem.
No timeouts left for either team. It's going to get decided on the court.
And Gordon fouls Johnson. So free throws coming for Kymora Johnson.
Gordon going for the steal, nearly came away with it, but got the arms of the freshman Johnson.
Johnson came into this matchup a 72% free throw shooter. She's only attempted 1 in this game and missed it.
Wait, she shot the ball today, 14 of 20 from the floor.
Makes the first. Ice in her veins to this point. Wow, good on both. "16 seconds for Florida State. Now inside 10. Gordon, acrobatic move, lays it in. We're down to a 2-point differential. Brown gets it into Johnson. Johnson fouled once again by Amaria Gordon.
Smart play, though, by Virginia to continue to get the ball in. Nice finish there by Amaria Gordon. But then on the inbounds, I don't think that they were looking for anyone other than Kymora Johnson. They wanted the ball in her hands for good reason, as she's got 33 today.
4.9 seconds remaining after these free throw attempts. First one good. Wow. Rock solid. And here comes Florida State. They've got to hurry. Latson runs out of time, and the Who's have done it. Virginia knocks off the Noles 91-87.
Big win for Coach Mox and her Virginia Cavaliers.